The following footage is brought to you by WouldYouKindly.com.
Cybertron, the home world we Autobots have strived to protect from the Decepticons, can no longer sustain us.
Growing up, I was a huge fan of the Transformers, and why wouldn't I be? Giant robots that turn into vehicles? What could be better than that? If you haven't noticed, I really like robots. Zombies cannot eat robots with their teeth because it would break. Dinosaurs are cool, but robots have lasers. And that makes any argument there null and void. Therefore, robots are great. High Moon Studios' War for Cybertron was one of the best Transformer games ever made, and now with the fall of Cybertron, High Moon wants to prove that Transformers still has the touch. So can High Moon Studios do it again, or will it return to the dark side of the moon? Puns aside, this episode of The Game Machine starts now.
Choice, Bumblebee. War is lost.
So no way to give this away without spoiling it, but if you know nothing about the Transformers, then your mind will be blown. This takes place after the events of War for Cybertron and continues the tale of Autobots versus Decepticons, fighting on their dying planet. You'll play as many various Transformers from both sides, and it helps tell a strong story. Some of the Transformers lines are very cheesy but fun, and in the spirit of the series itself. It also has some really cool set-piece moments that will make Transformers fans and people who like watching giant robots tear each other apart very, very happy. It's a very entertaining story overall, and has a dark tone, but it does have its fun, light and cheesy moments.
We got company. Time to play hide and seek. Decepticons? Cloaking works best if you keep quiet.
Sweep the area. We don't want any visitors like before.
Yes, sir.
Some people may be upset that the Cybertron series of characters don't look like the G1 Transformers. I will say, as someone who has grown up with G1, this is still a cool looking game. The world of Cybertron is, yes, all metallic, but is a very lively world, and there is various locations and settings you will visit. There is still that whole Unreal Engine texture popping thing, but it still looks really good overall. Oh, and they add colors. Yes, there's a third-person shooter with colors in it. The soundtrack is well done, and it fits really nice and well with the gameplay. You also can't help but love many of those who voiced the characters from the series, such as Optimus, are back, and deliver a great performance. What I love the most is the sound effects that harken back to the old-school cartoons and even the toys of the day. It's very nostalgic to hear those blast sound effects, for example. Reminds me of like an old laser gun and other toys I've had. If you love Transformers and was a kid of the 80s or early 90s, you will definitely appreciate this.
We're on our way, Ratchet.
Stay back, Optimus. They'll be through any second. Rocket!
Return fire.
I'm gonna beat you till you...
Just like its predecessor, the Fall of Cybertron is a third-person shooter. The great thing is that this game gives you a lot of variety in gameplay. Some stages you'll be flying as a jet and destroying targets and using stealth to take out enemies. Also, you'll have another stage where you're a robotic T-Rex that shoots flamethrowers. How cool is that? I already said that dinosaurs by themselves aren't cool, but robot dinosaurs? Hell yes! Of course, you can also transform into vehicles and robot forms anytime, which feels very useful to do and not just a throwaway gimmick. You gain upgrades and weapons and abilities, which is typical in games like this, and you will definitely want to make sure to get what you can. This experience is very fun and well put together, though sometimes it can be tough if you're someone like me who sucks at shooters, and you can die pretty quickly, especially if you accidentally run into a room full of people, or if you're in vehicle mode into a chase scene and you bump into a wall or drive off an edge. So for people like me, probably best to play easy mode, though I stuck it through and played through normal. So for the rest of you shooter fans, this should be a piece of cake for you. There is no cover in the game, which might bother some, but I didn't mind that. Since you can switch between vehicle and robot forms, there is no co-op, which might make some sad, but for what they were trying to do with the campaign, it probably wouldn't have worked out. However, if you do want to bring your friends in on the experience, then there is standard multiplayer features and even a horde-type mode for you to get your mech on. The modes are pretty similar for most third-person shooters, except you can transform into a vehicle and build your own transformer. It personally didn't impress me much, but it's there if you want to play it. For me, the campaign was the one reason worth playing Fall of Cybertron.
You learn anything? Ooh, I can make a bridge if I drop that rig, but the gears are jammed.
Figure it out, Sir Rust-a-Lot.
Hey, show some respect.
What? I said sir.
Transformers Fall of Cybertron proves that there can be great licensed games. Not just because it has giant robots that turn into cars, jets, and Tyrannosaurus Rexes. It's because it has great gameplay, great design, and it treats the property with the respect it deserves. But also, flamethrowing T-Rexes does help. So till next time, guys, roll out!
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers.